حي على الفلاح.
But so in this session too, I'm going to talk to you about, we're zoning in on studying the Arabic for the purpose of understanding the Quran. Okay, so when it comes to learning any language, you want to be able to acquire 4 skills. Okay, any language that you're good at, you want to be able to say, I have 4 skills in that language. Those skills are reading, writing, listening, and speaking. I'll say that again: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And the way to organize those skills, like when you go to I used to study Spanish in high school, and I'm trying to learn some Turkish now. And at one point or another, I've tried to learn several other different languages. When you go to a language class, your professor, your teacher will get you to say something, speaking. They'll get you to say, my name is this, or here's how you say hello, or here's how you say welcome, here's how you say good evening, etc., right? That's speaking. They'll try to introduce you to the alphabet of that language. That's writing, obviously. They'll say something and expect that you understand what they said. That's listening, right? And then, of course, they'll put words on the board or in your textbook, and they'll expect you to read it in that language the way it's supposed to be pronounced. That's reading. I want you to take those 4 skills, reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and restructure them, reorganize them in your mind. Again, we're learning not Spanish or German or French. Actually, we're not even learning Arabic for a general purpose. We're learning Arabic to understand the Quran. It's a very specific purpose. Our entire study of the language is focused primarily first on a book, and then everything else in that language. That's secondary to us, right? If that's the case, then of those 4 skills, 2 skills become less important. In the beginning, at least anyway, they become less important. So speaking becomes less important, and writing becomes less important, because for the average Muslim who just wants to understand the Quran, they're not going to sit there and write Surah Al-Baqarah. They're going to read it. They're not going to write it. And even if they never learned how to write it properly, it wouldn't make a difference. They're not interested in writing first. They're interested in understanding first. Don't worry about stop stressing yourself out about vocabulary. It will come. I promise you, it will come, and you'll be very good at it. And actually, the vocabulary of the Quran is easier than most of the vocabulary of Arabic. If you were learning Arabic to understand the Al Jazeera network, you'd have a much harder time. Much harder time. But if you're learning Arabic for Quran, it's way, way easier. But your starting point is not vocabulary. Your starting point is to conquer the hardest part of Arabic. It's grammar. It's structure. And grammar is scary even for English speakers. My God, if you told somebody, I'm going to teach you English grammar, I'd rather get a root canal than learn English grammar. Grammar is not a fun thing to learn. But crazy enough, I've made a career out of making grammar fun to learn. And Arabic grammar is actually pretty mathematical and very logical and surprisingly fun to learn if you have the right approach. For any of these 10-day milestones that we have, if you have the right pathway, if you have the right course and curriculum, and if you have the right teaching method, those 2 things are key. You can't just have which book should I study? Books are just information. It's what method will I use to teach that book, right? The method has to be right for a student to be able to really retain their stuff. So it's not just about getting a book and going through it and you'll get it. The curriculum is important, but equally important is the teacher. If you can have a combination of those 2 things, you will get to your goal successfully. And that's what I recommend doing for those of you that are able to read and want to progress that way. For some people, all they want at the end of their life, what is success to them? Maybe I'll own a house. That's success for them. Maybe if I have this much money, that means I have success. Maybe if I got married to this one or that one, maybe that means I have success. But I go back to what I started with. There are some people who are happy with doing just the minimum. Just the minimum. But I am here to tell you, the young people in the audience today, Allah has blessed you, and I am telling you, He expects great things from you. He does not expect the minimum from you. There are so many Muslims, the only thing left of Islam is their name. That's the only thing left. They don't care about salat. They don't care about halal and haram. They're far from this deen. What can I do to further this deen? What can I do I shouldn't just be happy that so many people come and attend Jumu'ah. Does that mean everybody's heart is clean?
Does that mean that we don't need any more reminder? Is that what that means? Or are there evils in our society? Are there youth that are turning towards drugs? Are there young people that are just living their life for no purpose? All they do is play video games and watch movies and go to sleep. And if you ask them for a purpose, they say, I want to graduate and get a job. Is that a goal? Get a job? Allah gave us such higher goals. Your job itself is a means to a higher end. But you know what? We are living in strange times. The people who need the da'wah the most today are the Muslims themselves. But even if you get a good job, but you don't do your job. You got the job, but you show up late every day. You got the job, but you don't finish any projects. You're sitting there at the desk wasting your time. You're going to lose that job. Somebody else will come and do it for you. You will not keep that job even if you qualified. Qualifications are not enough. You have to do the work. Allah Azza wa Jal is giving all of us, He's already qualified us. We are people of La ilaha illallah. We are already qualified. But that doesn't mean we're doing the work. If we don't do the work, if we don't concern ourselves, if we don't care, then you know what's going to happen. إِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. You turn away and Allah will replace you with a nation other than yourselves, and they will not be like you. They will not be lazy like you. And those are when young Muslim people have real iman. When young Muslims have real strength in their belief, then they have the power to change the world. They have the power to make the world a better place. But when young Muslim people don't have real iman, they don't have real conviction, then they are a waste of space. They are a waste of society, a waste of a generation. The only thing in their life, the most important thing in their life is when is the next movie coming out. The most important thing is when is the next iPhone coming out. The next most important thing is, man, I wish I had that car. That's it. Your life doesn't go any further than that. My teacher used to say that Islam is similar to climbing a mountain. You know, when you're climbing a mountain, you throw a hook and you climb. If you throw a hook not very high, then you will only reach that much. You can't reach any further. If your goal is money, if your goal is a six-pack, if your goal is a car, if your goal is a promotion, if your goal is entertainment, if your goal is girls, whatever your goal is, then you're only going to get that, you won't get anything else. But if your goal is something higher, to serve something more than yourself, you don't live a selfish life, you want to live for the sake of Allah and for the benefit of others, that's how you want to live, then you will benefit yourself definitely, but you will be honored in the eyes of Allah because you set your goal much higher. Our deen in this beautiful ayah, Allah Azza wa Jal describes it, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي. This is my path. As-sabil is a path. And you know what? Allah did not say in this ayah, قُلْ هَذَا دِينِي. This is my deen. Tell them this is my religion. This is my Islam. This is my truth. This is my book. He didn't describe it with any other language except this is my path. And all of you know a path is like a journey. So Islam itself is being described as a journey in this ayah. What does that mean? That means in any journey you have to make progress, right? So even if you take one step, you are more closer to your destination than the day before or the step before. Every single moment you are making progress in a journey. And in this ayah, Allah's Messenger says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this religion of mine and this religion of yours and ours, Islam, is a journey, which means I am supposed to do something more for this deen than I did yesterday. And I'm supposed to do more tomorrow and more tomorrow and more tomorrow. I'm supposed to go further. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family. If you want to see more videos from this series, click on the box at the top. If you want to see other videos, click on the box at the bottom. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.